Hello. So, hello, welcome to this video. Um, so I'm not exactly sure what this video is. I know at the beginning I'm going to be talking about CBT and depression, and I'm also going to be doing co-working and maybe some studying and some gaming for breaks, and you're just going to get to see all of that. It could be in two parts, it could be in one. I don't know. But this first part, I did want to talk about CBT and depression. I think is super informative, and I've talked about CBT in my other video before, but I feel like it was kind of further in the video and I didn't get to the point. But enjoy the pretty background while I talk about it. This background is just here. It was randomly here. I can change it to whatever, but it's so calming. I love water, so I'm gonna keep it here. I don't have anything on here except for my supervision, and then when this timer is up, it's gonna be showing what I'm doing. I don't always stick to it, but hold on. Ah, I did. Okay. So I don't always stick to it, but let me show you my task. I love this little app. Yep, do another video on CBT. Okay, overtime. Put that here. Streaming. What is that doing there? But yeah, so I did want to start this video talking about CBT and depression. So I am waiting for my computer to charge. While it's charging, I'll go ahead and start talking about that. So I think this is a really important topic to get into and talk about. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I have an undergrad in psychology, and I'm getting my master's in social work. I've said that a million times, but I want people to know, like, I'm not just somebody talking about this subject. I'm someone who's currently learning about it and who wants to practice therapeutic skills and learning about them and learning how to talk about them. I am not a therapist, and I don't necessarily don't think I want to get into therapy, but maybe more counseling. And I think it's important for everyone to have these skills. I know for me personally, they've been really helpful. Another thing that makes me a little bit, I would say, qualified, I don't know if that's the word to talk about it, is I have been through a lot of depression. I've been through a lot of depression, and I like to be really candid and honest about it. I've had years of being stuck in a vicious loop of suicidal thoughts where I couldn't go a week. Yeah, about a week without thinking suicidal thoughts and very seriously thinking about it. And it got so bad to the point where I literally thought, that's how I'm gonna die. This is how it's gonna end for me. And I don't say that to get dark. I say that to let you know, like, that someone has been in that place where it got really deep, got really sickening to the point where it really affected my whole life, actually. And that's kind of something I talked about in the last video on CBT. So CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's the basics of it are thoughts influence feelings, which influence behavior. Like, CBT is really effective for, I showed like research articles, and to go over this again, research articles are really good resources to know, like, what's what's what, like what you should really listen to, because any random person can say, oh, this worked for me, so this can work for everyone. That's not particularly the case. There are systems and details and research formats that need to be put into place, because there are too many faulty foundings based off of what people just said, because there's correlation, there's causation, and I'm not going to get into all of that, but people who know about it, they already know about all this, but people who don't know about it, I just want everyone to be aware of what this is. So if a research article says it, it's pretty credible. It doesn't mean it's always right and it's always true. It just means it's based on really, it's just based on valid research that these people, how do I explain it? That they really went to bat to get the most correct results and remove any outliers or extraneous variables. So that being said, I looked at research articles for CBT and saw that it is very effective on anxiety and depression. Anxiety is something that is big on affecting and having a positive effect on. Something I talked about also in the last video is how I generally struggle with, or I've struggled with anxiety to where it affected if I talked in my meetings. Like, I had always been very careful with every word that I said, because I was convinced people were thinking about the way that I sound when I talk. People were thinking about, like, oh, the way she looks when she talks. And, the truth about that is if they are thinking about that, who cares? And the thing is, we can establish the truth about something. It doesn't mean that it makes it feel better. It doesn't mean it makes it feel easier, but the truth is the truth, and that's something to be assured of. And something I talked about before was how, in general, people generally, they're not hung up on how you look, they're not hung up on how you sound, they're not hung up on what you say. They're more hung up on how you made them feel. Because I'd have people who keep coming up to me who are like, oh, hey, Brittany, how are you? And I'm like, why do these people want to keep coming up to me? I'm so awkward. They don't care about that. They just care that they like me. When people describe me to other people as, oh, she's really nice, because I make it a point to be nice to people. And that's what they see, more than just, oh, how awkward I am or how competent I am. And there are always ways to practice talking, to practice trying to shake the awkwardness off. Some parts of you are just going to stay, like, and you should just embrace all of those parts and say, who cares what people think. I also said before, I believe in taking thoughts captive. I believe in doing things in a Christian perspective, and a faith-based Christian perspective. That's like what I believe. But even if someone doesn't believe that way, you can always use this practically for your everyday. So I talked about it with loneliness, and so I wanted to talk about it when it comes to depression. So depression is a very vicious thing. That's the very first thing that comes to mind when I think of it. It's something that is vicious in the way that it affects people, but it's also vicious in the way that it removes people from society. Like, it makes you different for a while. You don't feel like you're like everyone else, and for that time you're not. Like, it's like everyone sees this thing that you can't see, and you're seeing this thing everyone else can't see. You're like, people don't, like, how are people just going through the day to day? How are people Um, how are people just doing the things that they do? Like, there's no point to anything. I'm so tired. I'm so unmotivated. How come I'm the only one that feels this way? And you're not the only one that feels that way, but it's also not normal. And the thing that you can be assured of is when you see people around you who are like smiling at random things, who are even your coworkers, who seem so happy for no reason, you can be assured that your baseline is not where it's supposed to be. So that's the first thing. So the thoughts that align themselves with depression can get vicious to the point where they can lead to suicidal thoughts. And if you ever do feel that way, if it does get to that point, please don't hesitate to call 988. Please don't hesitate to call crisis or call mobile crisis, someone that can come out and assess you, or someone that you can talk to over the phone who can assess you. Crisis and suicide hotline are different. You can call the suicide hotline too. I believe they are the same. They are not the same thing. I will have more details for you in a bit, but yes, depression is very vicious. It's very sad. I think people trick themselves when they're not in it into thinking it wasn't that bad. Like, oh, that episode wasn't that bad. If you're in depression, this video is especially for you, because whenever I'm in depression, I look for videos on depression. I'm like, does anyone have anything, any kind of advice? One thing you need to remember is depression is a place. It's a place that you're in. It's a whole mindset. It's a place that you can't leave at the moment. And the frustrating part about it is trying to figure out where it came from. Like, you're like, well, you're like, wait a minute, where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Like, that's the frustrating part, because depression can come from anything. It can come from burnout. It can come from lack of exercise. It can come from not eating right, not sleeping right. Anxiety spirals into depression. It can come from just being mentally tired. For me personally, so I take Prozac, and I had I had the flu, and I didn't take my medicine for 4 days, and you're going to be like, why didn't you do that? Well, I have a fear of nausea, and I was limiting the pills that I take during that time. Oh gosh, that's loud. Sorry if you hear any background noise. Hold on, let me... Okay, that's better. So, yeah, like, it's a place that you're in. It's a vicious place. It's also a place, the scariest part about, and I want to add a disclaimer, I'm not a therapist. The most effective way to get something out of CBT is to actually go to therapy and see a professional who can guide you through the process and help you think through your thoughts. Just a reminder, therapy, the way it works, you really do just get out what you put in. Like, people think, oh, why isn't this not working? You get out what you put in. But what was I saying? So, okay, I don't know how many times I repeated this, but it's a place that you're in. And from my experience, it's temporary. The scariest part about it is how long it's going to last. And I know for me personally, when I know where it comes from, when I'm like, oh, I just need to take my medicine. Because if you go 4 days without your Prozac or without your Abilify, you're you spiral, and you have a lower mood than you should. You're less motivated. It's hard to pay attention. Like, you have all the classic depression symptoms when you don't take your medicine. So I remember when I was taking my medicine in the weekend, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I really feel this way because I haven't been taking my medicine consistently. And it didn't make the feeling go away, but it gave me so much hope on the inside. I was so happy because I was happy in the way where I was hopeful. It's just like the hope that you don't have to feel this way anymore. And that's what you should lean on when you're depressed. You should lean on the hope that you're not going to feel this way at some point. When I was younger, it was harder because I didn't know when it would end. I didn't know how to convince myself that it was going to end. But the older you get and the more you go through it, the more you're just like, oh, it does end. Because I've had episodes of depression that have come from anxiety, and after they've ended, I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine. That was a whole different person. I'm not going to feel that way anymore. I'm going to be responsible again. I'm going to be a responsible adult, do what I'm supposed to do, and not let anyone down. And then I get depressed, and like, even at work where I have, how many clients do I have? 140? Where I have hundreds and hundreds of clients, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. Like, I've fumbled, like, in my episodes of depression. When it comes, it's like, where is this coming from? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm in it now. Like, I'm not in a depression, but I am in it to where it'll come. The depression will come, and I'm just like, where is this coming from? Like, why is this happening? Like, it's to the point where I've had to discuss with my work, like, hey, sometimes this happens. And for me, I think it's mostly hormonal. And sometimes this happens, and it just affects my mind, and I've gotten nothing but grace when it comes to it. I will be completely honest. I've got nothing but grace at my job specifically. That's what makes me like. That's what keeps me there. That's part of what keeps me there. If the management was bad, I'd be gone. I like doing what I do, but like, bad management plus a lot of work to do, they do not go well together. So I'm sorry to go on a tangent about that, but that's the first part of what I wanted to say. So, okay, I think, let me okay, and now I do want to talk about applying CBT to depression. So, one thing that makes depression harder is if you think you'll never leave. If you convince yourself you're never going to leave, like, even if it's day 1, day 2, day 3, and for me it's been like day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you convince yourself you're never going to leave, even if it has taken that long, you're in a bad place. You can't let yourself think that. Even if you really feel that way. Because once you start spiraling in that way, because for me personally, when I would get in the depressive episodes with the low motivation, literally in the back of my head, I'd be like, I'm never gonna leave this. I should just die. Like, that's just as simple as that. It just felt kind of warm. It felt kind of nice in a way where it's like, I should just take myself out. And it's so sad to say it like that. And it's kind of dark for me to laugh about it, so I apologize. But um, it's it's a hard place to be in. And when that's one thought that can come from depression, you have that thought, I'm never going to get out of this, a feeling, despair, behavior, or the thoughts of behavior like self-harm, hopefully just thoughts of suicide, no actual attempts, and behaviors can be thoughts that lead to behaviors, but what are more, let me see, more thoughts that come from depression. Oh, I'm worthless. I keep failing everyone. Things like that. And when you hold on to those things, thoughts, good feelings, but the feeling is despair. And then it can lead to behaviors. The behavior is whatever it might be. The behavior might be, or no one understands me, is another thought. And those behaviors might lead to isolation. The isolation can lead to, sometimes isolation can lead to more depression for some people. Sometimes isolation can be a good thing for some people. Just having that alone to yourself time. But if the alone to yourself time is to dwell on all the dark stuff and all the negative things, you don't need to be alone. Like, if you keep doing that, I know sometimes some people don't understand. It feels good to have a resolution. Like, it feels good for the depression to mean something. And I think for most people, they're like, this means this, and this means like, oh, these things were true, or this person really is awful to me, or I really don't have anyone, or everyone really, you can't use those absolutes aren't true. It's just a place, those thoughts aren't real, they're not true, they're not logical, and you have to practice unwinding them. But that's pretty much mostly gonna be my CBT, my spiel on depression and CBT. If anyone has anything else that they struggle with that they want to apply to CBT or they need help with, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to help with that. But okay, that was kind of heavy. In response to like what this video is supposed to be, which is a co-working studying video, but I wanted to start off with that because I think it's really important. If you want to skip the, like, if you see this up here, or if you see this up here, it usually probably means I'm just sitting here talking. If you see a timer going down, it probably means I'm quiet and I'm going to be doing my overtime in a bit that I don't want to do. This video might be in another part. I might do, I think I'm going to split it, maybe I will. But since I'm going to split it, I'll just talk a little more about it. So, it's a vicious cycle in depression. Depression, when you're in it, you're like, there's no way for me to feel better from this. And the point is, it's hard to say, okay, here's how, the best way I can put it. When you're like, when you find yourself having the symptoms of depression and you're like, oh, I think I'm in depression, don't freak out. Because I've been there where I'm like, I think I'm in a depression. And when you say to yourself, I think I'm in a depression, you probably are. Because people who aren't in a depression aren't thinking the thoughts that they are in a depression. So don't freak out. Um, what was I going to say? I was going to say something really important. Um, if you're in that state, for one thing, accept it. Don't try to claw yourself out of it. It's going to make it worse, and you're going to just dig a deeper hole. A deeper hole, you know. Don't do that. Know that you're in this place. It's like water, like trying to guide water. Like, you're guiding your thoughts in a direction. You're like, okay, I'm in this place. What's the first thing I should think? The first thing you should think is, this is temporary. Second thing, this is just a place that I'm in. You know, third thing, how did I get here? You know, what happened? Did I, like, is it my hormones? Is it, like, if you're a lady, like, is that time of the month coming? Am I burnt out at work? Like, do I have too much to do? Like, what bothers me? I know for me, this is weird, not having a lot to do kind of makes me feel down. I like to have a balance, but not having a lot to do where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like last week, it kind of triggered low motivation and just like, oh, I can't focus, I can't do much. But for some people, it could be the opposite. Like, too much to do can trigger it. Like, am I overwhelmed? Am I stressed? Is the stress triggering this depression? Am I anxious? Like, what happened? Like, okay. And then because I had a friend, well, she was my roommate, and she's married now, but she's a friend now. Me and her both struggled with depression together. And she's the kind of person, she'll attack a problem by beating at it. And I am not that way. We were complete opposite. She'll attack a problem by beating it. Me, I'll submit to the problem. I'll be like, okay, well, you got me. I lost. But I remember I was just texting her. I was like, this is awful. Like, everything is awful. And like, when you do the external thing where you're like, my job is awful. Like, I hate my job. I hate myself. I hate this. I hate that. You're letting the depression win. That feeling should not equal those thoughts. They're not logical. And I remember she's like, you know, you have the ability to get out of this depression. Like, the way that she does it is she's just attacking it from all sides. She's getting out of there. Like, not clawing out, but just doing everything you should do. Her thing is seasonal depression too. It's like, do you need light exposure, exercise? Go ahead and rule out those things. Do you need exercise? Do you need light exposure? Do you need water? Do you need to talk to someone? If you can talk to someone, do you need to write it out? And then if it's none of those things, just talking to your psychiatrist. Like, do I need to see my psychiatrist? I should tell my psychiatrist about it, you know. And it's frustrating, but it's a work in progress. If you struggle with depression, your baseline is lower than everyone else's, but that's your starting place, and that's really what's important for you to be working on, is trying to find out where it's coming from, what medicines work if you take medicines, or what things you can do to make it stop, you know, to beat it. And yeah, so that is my talk on CBT and depression. I should start doing my overtime soon. And I will say, I'll be completely honest, medicines have really helped me, where they made me think like, oh, you have a choice. I'll give an example. Like one medicine I'm on, like I believe, according to my research, it doesn't let you spiral. That's the best way I can explain it. It doesn't let you spiral, and you can bounce back quicker. And when I realized, oh, my brain just naturally spirals, because sometimes it's chemical, because of my dopamine, I was like, oh, that I didn't know I had a choice to feel this way or not. And it made me realize that even without the medications, I can realize I don't have to go into this thought spiral that I feel pressured to go into. And yeah, and I do want to talk more about that, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you've watched it to the end, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please tell me what you think, and if you want to see more things like this. And I really do enjoy talking about it and want to make more videos like it. So thank you again. And yeah, I will see you in the next video, or I'll be working over and body doubling and yeah, and playing games for a break and things. So yeah, I will see you then.